Hi everyone, this is Arnav from the Tars team. If you're watching this video, you have been selected to be a part of our exclusive Zapier beta test. Zapier, if this is your first time hearing about it, Zapier is a cool service which allows you to transfer data automatically between hundreds of apps, and now Tars is one of those apps. In this video, I'm actually going to show you guys how you can go about doing that in a step-by-step guide. So to begin with, you should have received a link that looks something like this. It should be something like zapier.com/developer/accept invite. You want to click on that link, and when you click on that link, you should see a page that looks like this. The page is pretty simple. It's just going to ask you to accept the invite and build a Zap. There's really just one button. You're going to want to click on that button in the bottom of the page. Once you click on that button, it is going to take you to your Zapier home. Once you're over here, what you want to do is you want to hit the Make a Zap button in the top right of the screen. It's a big orange button. Hit Make a Zap. It'll take you to select the trigger action of your Zap. If you're a beginner at Zapier, the way Zapier essentially works is you have a trigger app and you have a action app. Something happens in the trigger app and Zapier automatically sends the data or does something to it to send it to the action app. In this case, what we're going to try to do is I built this lead generation chatbot. This is the back end of it. It accepts a couple of fields: name, spaceship, mileage, and email. It's a lead generation chatbot for a fictitious spaceship insurance company. So once data is collected through this chatbot, we want to send it to this Google Sheet over here, where we're going to add the headings. You want to make sure that the headings match the fields that you're collecting. So in this case, they are name, spaceship, mileage, and I think that was it. Email. Yeah, mileage and email. So I've set up this sheet over here. I have set up my bot over here. Before I actually start creating the Zap in Zapier, I want to actually have a conversation with the bot so there is some sample data for Zapier to play with. You'll see why this is important in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out this bot really quick. Elon Musk. I don't own a spaceship, so I'm just going to pretend like I'm Elon Musk. Falcon 9. Give it a random number. And give it an email, elon@spacex.com. Right. So once you've had at least one conversation with this bot, you're going to go back to the Zapier trigger app. You're going to search Tars. You're going to select it from the drop-down that pops up. It's a purple icon with a buy invite on the right side. Select the Tars app, hit save and continue. This is going to be a recurring thing in this process. You're just going to keep hitting this blue continue button on the bottom left. Now I want to connect my Tars account. This is going to allow Zapier to pull the chatbots from my account and allow me to select which chatbot I want to use. I'm going to hit authorize over here. Save and continue. Now it's going to ask me to set up which bot I want to send the data from. So over here, I'm going to look up spaceship insurance. This is spaceship insurance 2.0. So I'm going to select spaceship insurance 2.0, hit continue. And as you can see over here, it's giving me conversation A. Conversation A is actually the conversation I just had with this bot where I gave it Elon Musk's details. So if I hit this down arrow button, you can see all the details of the conversation I just had with the bot. And this is going to be useful in the next step. So I'm going to select conversation A. I'm going to hit continue. Now it's going to ask me to select an action step. So once it has received the conversation data from the space insurance chatbot, it is going to want to do something with that information. And in this case, we want to send it to the Google Sheet. So I'm going to select Google Sheets. What I want to happen is every time a new lead like this is captured, I want it to create a new row over here and save that lead information in this sheet. So I'm going to select create a spreadsheet row from the options over here, hit save and continue. And it's already connected my account, I believe. But if you want to connect account, you just hit connect an account. It'll take you to the Google options. You hit the account that you want to connect. Over here, I'm going to hit my personal account, give it permission, say allow. Now I'm going to select this new account, which has showed up over here. Hit save and continue. And now I want to choose the spreadsheet worksheet and populate it. So first, let's pick the spreadsheet. In this case, the spreadsheet is called Spaceship Insurance. So let's select Spaceship Insurance spreadsheet. From worksheet, let's select the leads worksheet. So the worksheet is basically whatever shows up in the bottom of here. I have two options. There are customer support tickets and leads. And actually, now that I look at it, I have put the headings in the wrong sheet. So I'm going to switch back to leads. You have name, spaceship, mileage, email, and go back here, select leads. I want this to be captured in the leads table. And now I want to populate each of the columns. So I have name, spaceship, mileage, and email. And in the Zap as well, I have name, spaceship, mileage, and email. And now what I want to do is with that test data, with this conversation data that I created over here, I'm going to populate these fields to give Zapier a reference on how to deal with conversation data when it comes in. So for the name field, I'm going to select the test data Elon Musk. For the spaceship field, I'm going to select Falcon 9. For mileage, I will select the mileage. And for email, I will select elon@spacex.com. I'm going to hit continue. It will give me an option to send test to Google Sheets. I like to use this test. It tells me whether my Zap is working or not. Once I hit send test, what it's going to do is it's actually going to send that data, which I created over here, which I gave in the template. It's going to send it to the sheet. So now if I open up the sheet, you can see the data from the conversation, which I had earlier, is populated within the sheet. I'm going to hit finish. So that's the Zap has been set up. Spaceship Insurance leads. Turn the Zap on. And we're all set. The Zap has been created. If I go back to this bot and I refresh the page and I have another conversation with it, you'll see it populate in the Google Sheet. One of the cool things actually is we've set it up so that even if you don't finish the conversation, even if the prospect doesn't finish the conversation. So for example, over here, it's going to ask me for a name, say Jeff Bezos. If I dropped off over here, the bot is going to wait for a couple of minutes. If it sees that I haven't given any other data in a couple of minutes, it's going to assume that I've dropped from the conversation and it's going to send whatever it has to the sheet. So in this case, it would just say Jeff Bezos over here, but that'll require a couple of minutes of waiting. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish the conversation. Hit Blue Origin, mileage, and we can give it Jeff at blueorigin.com. All right. If I open up the sheet, as you can see, the conversation which I just had has been populated into the sheet. So that's the basic setup for a Zap within Zapier, to transfer your conversation data, transfer your lead data from Tars into one of the hundreds of other apps that are available on Zapier. I just showed you Google Sheets in this, but we'd be more than happy to help you set up any other integrations. Zapier is pretty intuitive, so you should be able to figure it out yourself. We'd love to hear what your feedback is on this, and we'd love to see the cool stuff that you guys end up making. Thanks.